Should we try these?
Yes, please. Yeah.
That's really good. So this family has been operating this business since 1903. Do you know, where did they land after the war?
So I'm talking with Brian Quito, who's I think the third generation manju and mochi maker. He was saying that when his family returned to Los Angeles from Heart Mountain, Wyoming, he said his family didn't have a lot of money, and so they stayed at a hostel, which was operated out of Koyasan Buddhist Temple, which is right across the street.
A hostel.
That's
Okay.
right. Several of the religious organizations operated hostels and allowed people to stay there until they could sort of get back onto their feet. So Koyasan was one location, and then we'll point out Nishihonganji Buddhist Temple was also operated a hostel. I should point out, across the street is Bunkado. It's a gift shop, and that opened soon after the war and has been in operation ever since. So there are quite a few businesses here that opened, right after.
After the war. I mean, it's astounding, really. Despite all of the challenges, the Little Tokyo was able to bounce back, and it's still, a vibrant place today.
Exactly, yeah. So it was really the community sort of banding together to help people restart their lives. But there are a few individuals that I think stuck their necks out really and advocated for Japanese Americans. And one person in particular that I'm thinking about is Hugh Macbeth, who was a Black civil rights attorney, very prominent, who lived in the Crenshaw area, which was, historically there was a Japanese American population there. And as soon as Pearl Harbor was attacked and Japanese immigrants were picked up, Hugh Macbeth was out there writing letters of support to try to get a lot of Japanese Issei men out of prison. He was trying to prevent the forced removal from happening, and then continued his work after the war, including hiring a young attorney named Chiyoko Sakamoto.
A Japanese-American attorney.
That's correct. She was the first Japanese-American, I think Asian-American woman to be accepted to the California State Bar. And before the war, her office was actually right in this building, which is now part of the Japanese-American National Museum.
What happened to Little Tokyo while its Japanese-American residents were incarcerated? The vacant homes and shops were soon filled by Black families migrating from the South, attracted by defense industry jobs. It gave the neighborhood a different vibe and a different name, Bronzeville. But that lasted just a few years. After the war, Japanese families returned, and Bronzeville faded away.
Welcome to JANM's collection. I will say that we don't have a lot related to the early post-war period.
Oh, interesting.
And I don't think we talk enough about the early post-war period and just how difficult it was for people to restart their lives. We started talking about Chiyoko Sakamoto.
Right.
Chiyoko's parents and her older sister immigrated from Japan in the early 20th century. And Chiyoko was born here along with two other brothers. This is a pendant, I guess from a honor society.
The Scales of Justice.
We also have her law school class ring.
A collection like this makes this story that you tell about somebody just so much more personal, too.
Exactly, yeah. So Chiyoko lived with her brother in the Seinon neighborhood near Crenshaw, which translates to southwest Los Angeles. She lived within a few miles of Hugh Macbeth. Chiyoko and her family were forcibly removed from Los Angeles, ultimately to Amachi, which was one of the concentration camps in Colorado. And they eventually came back to Los Angeles. And Chiyoko did not think she would restart her law career, but Hugh Macbeth, who had been championing for Japanese Americans throughout the war, hired her to work in his law firm. So they had an office in the Crenshaw area, and they also had an office in downtown Los Angeles.
Oh, these are her business cards.
That's right, yeah.
Oh, Chiyoko Sakamoto, attorney at law. 3324 West Jefferson Boulevard. What's interesting is that it seems like the story of Japanese Americans returning from the incarceration, there seem to be a lot of intersections with the Black community here in Los Angeles. And You said that presumably this, what was the name of this neighborhood? The Crenshaw area in Japanese?
Seinon.
Seinon, okay. So this is where a lot of those intersections happened?
That's correct. Yeah.
I see. So today we think of Crenshaw as a historically African American neighborhood within Los Angeles, but there was a big Japanese American component there.
That's correct.
Black and Japanese Americans coexisted in Crenshaw, and they helped each other, joining forces to challenge racial covenants designed to keep non-whites out of many neighborhoods. And they succeeded. In May of 1948, the Supreme Court outlawed racial covenants everywhere.